G'day, Alucard J here. In this video, I'm going to create a custom editor script. What I want to do is in this filter example inspector, I want to add a button here so that we can click on the button and call a function on this filter example script in edit mode so that we don't have to be in play mode to generate these noises. We can do it all in edit mode. So to start off, all your editor scripts must be in a editor folder. Create an editor folder, create a new script, and this will be my filter example editor. Okay. My filter example editor. Now, because we're doing something for the editor, we want to inherit namespace Unity editor. This will be using functions in the editor namespace. And we won't be inheriting from mono behavior, we'll be inheriting from editor. Okay, so this is a custom editor. So we need to signify that for this class is a custom editor, and it is a it's a type of filter example. That is the script that this custom editor is overriding. Okay, so we need to get rid of all this stuff. As I said, we're inheriting from this Unity editor namespace, but we want to override a function called onInspectorGUI, what's drawn in the inspector. So this will be a public override void onInspectorGUI. Is that capital? I think it's capital. You can actually see if this is working straight away. If we go back, let that compile. Now if we go to that script, we don't have anything in our inspector. We've overridden it. So we need to get our default GUI layout back, and that's quite easy to do. You just call on draw default inspector. And now we've got the original inspector layout back. So now after we do that, we want to add the button. So let's add a couple of spaces. So editor, GUI, layout, space. Now you can't actually designate a parameter here for the amount of space you want. So we'll just add in a few spaces. And then we'll declare a region where we're going to have our button. So editor, GUI layout, begin, horizontal area. I'm going to have our button, then editor, GUI layout, and horizontal. So everything in between these begin and end will be spaced out. So now we can apply, now we can put in a button. GUI layout, button, and the label for our button. Our button's going to be generate. So we need to call upon our script. We have to kind of get component. Now, I'm not sure of the magical workings of Inspector. I've just found out stuff that I know that works. So that we can, this is pointing to a target, which is, did I save that? No, I didn't save that. I should just see our button there. Okay, so we see we've got some spaces, we've got our button. It does nothing at the moment. Okay, we need to designate, this is our target, but it's untyped. It's like this is an object. We need to typecast our target object as our script so that we can call a function on it. So we're going to create a temporary variable. So this will be our filter example. That's our type. This will be our target script. Equals, and then we just need to typecast our object target. Filter, example, target. So now we have a pointer that's directly referring to the filter example script. Now we can simply say our target script, call a function on it. Okay, now that's not coming up. Because we're calling a function on another script, we need to make it public. Now, I've already made it public because I did one take and I stuffed it up. The target script.generate. And that's it. We are now calling the generate function on our filter example script from a button in the inspector. Let that compile. So now we hit generate. And there we have it. We can change some values here to show that it's working. Hit the generate. We can see things are working in edit mode. So we're keeping all these values. We're not hitting play and stop. But we do have some errors here. So we're instantiating a texture. And Unity doesn't like instantiating things like textures and meshes in edit mode. So saying instantiating material during, it's calling renderer.material during edit mode. This will leak materials to the garbage collection. You most likely want to use renderer.sharedMaterial instead. So we need to modify our filter example script here. So any instance where we're saying our material, we now need to say shared material. Save that. Okay, let's get rid of those errors. So now we hit generate again. Let's change some parameters. And there we have it. The errors are gone. We're generating our textures. And we're basically running our script from a button in the inspector in edit mode. So it's now a tool. So now that we're doing this, we can finally add in a terrain. And when we generate this noise in edit mode, we'll apply that to the height map values of terrain and make our terrain in edit mode.